It's nice to have you with us, and for those of you who have just returned, it's great to have you back. Well, it's an important night. We're pleased that you're here. We've got a lot of information to share, and we certainly welcome you. So tonight we're going to review a couple of things. We're going to review the vision statement, we're going to review our strategic plan, and we're going to review our mission statement. Now, that may sound extremely boring to you, and you may say, why is he doing that? Well, it's all going to tie in together, and I promise you that it's not going to be boring, it's going to be extremely exciting. Interesting stuff. Something happened back there, Roberto. You move it back, Roberto, please, all the way to the beginning. Some people call that an icebreaker, okay? So we're just going to leave it at that, okay? So we're going to cover these things, the vision statement, the strategic plan, the mission statement, and I think they're all going to wrap into our presentation, so I believe that you'll enjoy that as long as this clicker works the way we think it is. So when I first arrived, which actually was 1 week coming up, 1 week will be my 1-year anniversary. It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. So it's an exciting time, and we've gotten to this point, so thank you for joining us. So this was a vision statement, and this is current vision statement. It says, Oak Grove vision statement, inspire and enable members to enjoy every day of their lives. That's what this is all about. This is why you live here. We believe this works, and when I saw this, I said, I am all in, and I'm excited about it. So the board hired me, honestly, to advance the club. That's why I came here. They wanted me to look at the strategic plan, look at the operational plan, run the operations, and try to advance the club into a premier status that it once had many, many years ago. I was handed a copy very early of the strategic plan. It was exciting to see that in 2014, and Frank's going to talk a little bit about this, that a committee got together and actually put together a 5-year plan. So all this thing that we're going to talk about tonight is all part of that. We began working right from the beginning. We started working immediately with the board, immediately with the committees, the fitness committee. We formed our own ad hoc committee in order to take a look. And in the early stages, we entered into pre-construction planning process in an effort to get conceptual design, value engineering, estimated timelines, and final project costs that would lead us up to present to you today. What we're going to present tonight is a straw man, just a conceptual, a beginning phase. We haven't done all the interior works. We have a good idea. We have an idea of what our needs are based on what our committees have put together and the feedback that everybody's had over actually the last almost 2 years. So we feel good about giving you that tonight. In the early stages, we got involved with our professional team, and we brought them in. We brought Leo A. Daly in for our architects who are top rated, and you'll see their presentation tonight. We brought the owner's rep, Joe Gaudet, in. We just worked with Joe on our last project, and Gaudet Associates also did my project at Old Marsh recently. We brought in AMC Builders, and they are a great company. We worked with them in our last project, and they did a phenomenal job for us. Those people represented our pre-construction team to get us to a point where we could really understand the scope of the project, what it would cost, what the timeline would be, and how we would proceed. They will all have part of the presentation. this evening. Tonight's presentation is really about trying to comprehend what we're presenting. We're not going to do a Q&A afterwards. We're not going to get involved in screaming across the rooms and trying to control who's up, who's next, how many questions we have. We've decided to not do that. We're going to go through about 17 frequently asked questions that we've gotten from other clubs that have gone through this process. We believe that's the way to handle that this evening. This evening is about you taking a real look at what we're presenting, what the financial impact is on each one of you, and whether you think it's an investment for yourself, an investment for the community to future enhance our world here at Boca Grove. Over the next few weeks, we'll hold a number of focus groups. Those are smaller meetings. We're going to cap that off at 50 members each. Okay, you're going to have to call to make reservations with Paula. We're going to do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The first meeting, because next Tuesday we have a board meeting, it will be part of the agenda here. Then on Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to try 1 in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll have a focus group meeting. That'll be the time that everybody can bring their questions, can openly discuss it. We'll have a board, we'll have committees here, and we'll be able to review that. We will share all that information from all those meetings with all of you, so that you understand what do people think, how are things going, what's next. Following the next week, we're going to do Tuesday and Thursday at 6 o'clock. The following week, we're going to do Tuesday and Thursday, and it will culminate on November 15th, where we'll get everybody back together again to hopefully give you a final presentation and ask you to vote on what this project is. Okay? We have posted to you in a letter that I sent recently a member feedback email address. So it's called memberfeedback@bocagrove.org. Through that process, any day beginning tomorrow, and I've already got a few, so beginning tomorrow, you can begin to send emails to that email address. I promise that I will respond to you, and we will begin to accumulate those and share with everybody. It is an easy way to get your feedback and your concerns to us immediately so that we can respond without taking 2 hours to do a Q&A today. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. We will also tonight hand out the 17 frequently asked questions with answers on your way out. You'll receive that. We're also going to put a schedule together for you so you'll have that information as we move on for all the focus group meetings. With that, I'd like to introduce Frank Maddalena, our president, to take on the next presentation.
I need a telephone book. Thank you, Michael. This is such a delight and really has added such a dimension to the club. It's wonderful. So good evening, and thank you all for joining us on this important occasion. In representing the Board of Directors and the Ad Hoc Sports and Wellness Complex Committee, I'm very excited to present a facilities enhancement plan that meets the most important phase of the 2014 strategic plan. The strategic planning committee's mission statement was as follows. Thank you. Okay. To develop a guiding vision for the future viability of Boca Grove. And let me repeat that sentence. To develop a guiding vision for the future viability of Boca Grove. To determine strategies going forward, recommendations for future actions that require attention and implementation, short and long term. And finally, to focus on our members' quality of life while elevating property values. And if all of this sounds familiar, it comes from the work of Bernie Shavitz and the committee who worked so diligently and so hard to put that plan together. They had great insight into the needs of our membership and the community as we look to the future. We strongly believe that what we will present and eventually build will enhance members' lives while maintaining our position in the premier country club marketplace. The improvements recently completed, and ones that will still soon be made, will continue to create opportunities to attract new members to our club and to our community. And now, please allow me, because it's good to do this, to take you through what we have achieved together over the past 18 months. We started with a new logo, followed by new signage, the construction of 2 gatehouses, although challenging, was a huge success and has changed the face of Oak Grove. We began the enhancement of common grounds by constructing a berm on Oak Grove Boulevard that significantly enhanced the sense of arrival from the Wades Road. And this summer's completion of painting the clubhouse exterior, as well as installing new pavers at the entrance, were a significant improvement. The new tennis pro shop, where we had that great thing for Richard Tenenbaugh last summer. New awnings, new windscreens, and new furniture have also been a wonderful enhancement to our tennis program. This past summer, we renovated every bunker on the golf course, added a new 3-bay hitting area, and hired our new director, Sean Costello, to lead our golf program. And lastly, the complete renovation of our clubhouse has brought great pride and a sense of community back into Boca Grove. The Grove Room, windows, and Chipper's Sports Bar have all been an important part of the renaissance of our club. All of us are inspired. All of us who have been working on this for the past few months are inspired by the opportunities facing us. Our commitment to the strategic plan is strong, passionate, and necessary. And we cannot stop now. We cannot stop. We ask you to have an open mind, evaluate the work of our professional team, and you'll hear their credentials as they present. Evaluate the work of our board and our committees. Ask questions. Speak to your neighbors. Speak to people in other clubs. See how it's affected their lives. Do your own research. And finally, support our commitment to making Boca Grove the best community in which to live and play. And now, please allow us to share with you the future of Boca Grove with our new sports and wellness facility.
Turn it up a little bit. Volume. Volume.
I'd like to now introduce the architect who's been working with us for the past few months. His name is Bill Hanser. He's Vice President to Leo A. Daly and has been putting up with all our craziness. And Bill will take you through the presentation of the plans that we've developed so far. Thank you, Bill.
Good evening. If any of you think that's the last you're going to see of the design, it's just a snapshot rather of the quality and scope of the project. Obviously, we'd like to spend most of our time with my associate Ron Wendell and kind of going through the detail because I'm sure you're very curious about that. Before doing that, though, I really wanted to congratulate all of you and your leadership here for the investment that you've made within your community. And in my career, I spent a lot of my time meeting with clubs, and I can tell you that some of them are very forward-thinking and very proactive in the investments they make in their community. And correspondingly, sometimes I need to meet with clubs and memberships who have been reactive. And I can assure you that what I see here is a representation of a forward-looking community based upon all the improvements that Frank outlined. So I want to congratulate you on the commitment that you made within the community. By way of introduction, as noted, I represent Leo A. Daly, and we're specialists in clubhouse design and master planning. We've been in practice 50 years in South Florida. We've done over 150 clubs. And basically, the main reason I share that credential with you is it's given us some perspective or context, if you will, to share with you, at least from my personal opinion, having spent all this time in club work, asking and answering the question, why this project? So from my perspective, there's some very important reasons why this project would be relevant within your community. And the first one, you don't need to be an architect to understand, I don't believe, and that is your facilities are aging. And as facilities age, that progression only accelerates. And in the case of your building and your facilities, they're increasingly expensive to maintain and to operate over time. Why this project? Another, I think, strong reason is because it really fulfills one of the major elements of your strategic plan and your mission statement, and you can see it there before you. Another important reason and the relevance of this project, in my experience, is really, ultimately, most importantly, to enhance your lifestyle and your well-being. And we're going to talk about the aspects of that as we move forward. And then finally, and I think equally important, again, from my personal experience, clubs who fail to invest are literally being left behind. And there's plenty of examples out there of clubs that have invested and reaped the success of that. And unfortunately, there are clubs out there that have chosen not to invest and pretty much stayed in place. And those are some important stories. I think it's important for you to know that if you don't, that the investment in wellness, fitness, and sports facilities and clubhouses has been for years and remains a very strong component of premier clubs in South Florida and beyond. It's really a reflection upon the fitness-oriented nature of our society that's brought in within the gates of our country clubs, and it's not just my opinion. The McMahon Group, which is one of the foremost master planning consultants in the country in club design, had these great quotes that I think really sum up what's happening with these kind of projects within premier country clubs. And let me just read it to you because it's really important. Over the next decade, the average country club will look more like a sports center surrounded by a golf course. Health, fitness, and wellness will be the overarching characteristic of the future club. I want to assure you the future is now. And all you have to do is look around within this area, and I'm going to go back to this list. Or not. All right, we're not going to go back. By the way, in case you're curious, we brought in a professional AV company. Perfect. And practiced this 20 or 30 times. So I don't want you to think that we took this lightly, because I can assure you we didn't. We needed to practice it 30 times, actually. But at any rate, this is just a partial listing of some of the premier clubs in and around Boca Raton and Palm Beach County. It's not a complete list, but it's a representation of clubs and some of the clubs that have really taken this movement, this focus within clubs for fitness, sports, and wellness, and really taken it to another level. Yes, some of these clubs are larger, some of them are smaller. They're all very different, but they have invested in the quality and of these facilities. So I want to share with you very briefly a couple of images of projects within these clubs, and there's a purpose for my doing that, and I'll share that with you in just a minute. So one of the first, now we're in love with that slide. One of the first projects we did and signed was the Family Resort Complex in the Polo Club. A project that really exceeded all expectations. In fact, at this point in time, is going through its second expansion since that point in time. Across the street in Boca Air, they saw what was happening at Polo and they wanted to create success for themselves. So we designed a state-of-the-art aquatics complex and a casual dining environment. Then we moved on to Ibis. And again, these projects come in different sizes and whatnot, but they do have a commitment to quality in each and every case. St. Andrews Country Club, Woodfield Country Club, and within the last 9 months, the fitness and aquatics complex at Glen Eagles opened. Within the next 30 days, a new project, similar project at Hunter's Run, will be finished, completed, and open. And currently, 2 additional projects at Meisner and also at Addison Reserve are in construction. So the relevance of showing you these, quite frankly, is that prospective members who come here will visit some of these clubs, a lot of these clubs, and you literally, like it or not, it's a fact of life, will be compared against some of these facilities. So to say they're comparison shopping is just a fact of life in a very competitive marketplace in the country club world. And when they come here, they're going to walk into your facilities, in this case your fitness facility, and they're going to have a first impression. And that first impression is going to be compared to first impressions that they will have having visited other clubs. They're going to be sizing up your facilities in terms of their condition and their quality, and not just in and of itself. They're also going to be comparing it, again, as I mentioned, to some of these other facilities. A lot of these prospects, if you will, are very knowledgeable. They understand what state-of-the-art facilities look like. They know what a beach entry is in a pool, which is a requirement in this day and age in an aquatic complex. And if you're not familiar with that, we'll share that with you during our design presentation. They definitely want to see quality casual dining. Places where they can bring their guests and visitors and enjoy the environment. They expect in fitness facilities to have a safe, spacious environment. And anymore, the view from workout spaces has to have a significant view. It's not even optional anymore. So these are just a few of many comparisons that we can make relative to your facilities and what prospective buyers would be doing and comparing them. So with that in mind, we're going to move on and we're going to talk in very specific detail. I'm going to introduce Ron Wendell. He's our design director to walk you through the project in detail. Ron?
Thank you. Okay, we've got a temperamental clicker here. Good evening, everybody. I want to thank you people for having us be part of the enhancement of your wellness facility here. Whoop, how about that? I want to thank you for having us be part of the enhancement of the wellness of your community here. We feel that wellness is a really, really important part of a community. It brings, a community together in some cases. But what I want to talk about right off the bat is Michael brought up your vision. And one of the things that we talk about in the vision is enhancing people's lives. And that's really a cornerstone for my design philosophy as an architect. I think we do this in every project that we do, whether it's an educational project or multifamily housing project. The idea is truly to do something better than was done before. So one of the ways that we start off our projects is we usually do a reconnaissance, and we did this with a couple of your folks and visited your existing pool and wellness facility. And some of the things that we noticed while we were there, we started to take a look at, the first impression was the pool. While it's a functional pool and everything, it does have maintenance issues right now as far as surfacing. And even the equipment, the pool equipment is dated and probably will need to be replaced very soon. But, even though you have a functional pool, doesn't mean that it can't be something that is enhanced and created to create this resort type style at the same time and make it an exciting place to be, a place that you want to be almost any time of the year. The entry coming in is very minimal. It doesn't really say a lot about wellness. It's really just there. It's right next to your service area for the restaurant, which is really not all that appealing right off the bat. Matter of fact, your kids area is right next to that also. The other thing is that when we got into the facility, the sizes of a lot of the rooms, the functional rooms, multi-purpose fitness rooms were all way undersized for the size community that you guys are in. And we did know there were advantages to your site, though, also. You've got a really nice, healthy, mature landscape buffer around the edges of the pool area, which we're going to reuse. And that'll help bring that natural, holistic type of a landscape into the whole project. We have an existing tennis promenade that's very important, that will also want to be kept and maintained. And then existing pickleball and existing basketball courts, which we will probably be relocating so that we can actually get some more breathing room on the site. So just to give you a kind of a comparison of what we have and what we're going to have, right off the bat you see on the left-hand image the pool and the existing building is pretty rectilinear, just kind of fits in there. And the idea in the right-hand slide is to show you that now we've kind of created this more organic, more resort type of a site plan so that we can really kind of piggyback on that idea of holistic wellness. So digging down deeper, as we start off, I'm going to be brave here and touch another button. As we start off, we have a drop-off area, which you have right now. We're going to maintain that because we know we're going to have people dropping off. Parking right across the street. We're reusing the existing crosswalk along here, and then we have this large landscape court out in front to kind of really set the table for this facility right off the bat. And then as we get up to the main entry here, we're kind of creating this portal that takes you in. Narrows the view down, but then once you come out the other side, it just blows open that view. So in the back here, we've created a more resort-style, fitness-type pool along the back. At the terminus of that axis, we have a wonderful water wall feature along the back, reusing some of the existing materials on some of your site signage. We're expanding some of the outdoor dining along through here, along with a two-story fitness and dining facility. A new play area. It's really a designated area for the kids, and kids really do like having their own space as opposed to being part of the adult space. And then we've shifted the pickleball courts and basketball court to the south a little bit to pick up some more space. And then we've also added, or actually shifted, a new tennis court, hard court, and it's actually a larger court to attract pros to the area. So digging down even deeper into the pool, Bill mentioned the beach entry pool. It's actually a pool that slopes down to a maximum depth of about 6 feet over by the aerobics area here. And it's done that way because of a couple of reasons. We did it because we do still have an elderly group of neighbors in here, and it actually makes it a lot easier to get into the pool. It is a requirement now for handicap access into the pool, and it's better than actually putting a lift or even a handicap ramp in there where people become very self-conscious about getting into a pool. So now we've got a real natural way of getting in there. We also put the 2-lane lap lane up on the north end here, and we did that with a little bit of a pinch down in this area here, because during those hours when they're not being used for fitness, this can be the social area of the pool, this can be the quiet area of the pool, so this kind of gives it a little bit of a division there, so you don't have to be where all the action is, or you can be where you want to just hang out and listen to the white noise of the water wall. We've created a lot of lounge area along there. We've been an area for cabanas along the east end, and again, the outdoor space. The other thing we've also maintained is that tennis promenade, so tennis players can actually use the dining area in the morning. So I'm showing you these images because, again, this is really the lifestyle we're looking at, whether it's a traditional type of a club that gets plopped down into some island oasis, or it's a contemporary South Beach kind of a look, which still has that organic feel to it. Either way, we want to really make this into a place, a special place that people really want to be at, no matter what time of year it is. Even the play areas now have become pretty sophisticated with the splash pools along with the covered play equipment. Play equipment has become even more sophisticated these days, as well as even the splash pools, to the point of becoming even sculptural, and in some cases, as in St. Andrews, this is really a play area, a splash pool that's right next to the main pool. Now, a lot of people in a lot of the other clubs wouldn't have done that, but in this case they did, because at nighttime what they do is light this up and it actually becomes a sculptural feature at night. So just to give you kind of an orientation of how the plan sits on the site, what we've done is created this arch type of a building along here with dining and the wet area, locker room areas off of the pool along here, and group fitness. And I'll get in a little deeper here. So as you can see here, we've created the dining zone along here, locker rooms and spa along with fitness, or the swimming pool restrooms along here, and group fitness, and then up above that is our fitness area. So looking at the dining area in through here, the idea is in some cases to have that special kitchen area, or that demonstration kitchen area that has that pass through, so that even on off hours when you don't have serving in through here, this can be a place to order food, and then even if this becomes popular, which 9 times out of 10 they have, this can be another dining venue for you, even in the evening, where this becomes a really cool place to be in the wintertime or even during the summertime. And the idea of creating that indoor-outdoor al fresco atmosphere along the edge of the water. Since you don't have the beach here, we've created the beach now. And you don't have mountains, so now the idea is that we have to create this oasis for you. And so it's actually kind of fun to do this, because it really gives you a lot of leeway to work with. So I'll get over to the actual fitness part of the plan. And so as you come into this portal that takes you out to the pool, you'll take a right into here, and your check-in area will be the first thing that you see. And off to the left, there'll be a staircase that takes you up to the fitness level. And on the treads of the risers of the stair, we'll actually put the calorie count going up to the fitness area. So it gives you kind of an idea of what you're burning going up, and encouraging people to use that stair even more. So once you get past check-in, you'll go in to the locker rooms, whether it's the men's locker room or women's locker room, and we've actually did this little caddy corner for privacy purposes, and we've actually put spa in between. So the great thing about this is, as you get in here, you go to the locker room, head to the quiet room, the masseuse comes, picks you up, and then you get your treatment, and you come right back in there. You never have to actually access out into a public area. It's all self-contained. Locker rooms will also have steam and sauna. The pool rooms are located adjacent to the pool. By code, we need to be adjacent to the pool. We got to be at least 500 feet close to the pool. We're pretty close. So the idea in these is to create a holistic wellness type of an atmosphere in here, whether we go with dark interiors or even brighten it up and have some fun and make it a more light and cheery area to be in. Again, those are some of the things that we're still working on. The check-in area, again, can be a real vibrant place up front, very clean lines, very contemporary, or it could be very organic and holistic. Maybe even the idea of catching some of the stone that you already have on your entry features now. So getting down to the group fitness, that's located adjacent to your locker rooms. It's great because it gives you easy access to the group fitness areas. Aerobics is directly across from locker rooms. And what we've done is we've expanded the hallway along here. We've actually created an 8-foot wide hallway there to put some benches in between aerobics classes when other people are waiting for their class. They're not shoved in a really narrow corridor, which we see in a lot of clubs, and it's really not a fun place to be. In between classes, the spin room over here is set up so that we can actually take the spin bikes, which we know is going to be a popular thing. We see every club we've come into now, spin rooms have actually been undersized. In this case, we did it for a reason to kind of push the bikes off to one side and make this into a multi-purpose room that can be used not only for spin, it could be used for private yoga classes or other physical therapy type classes. And then the Pilates room off onto the south side. Both the aerobics and the Pilates actually have outdoor views out towards the landscape court and just to the south, out towards the basketball court. And then the kids area right off in its own zone again. The splash pad is just up in through here, and then the covered play area is right next to it. So this really is the kids zone. And again, these interiors are very bright, very open, wide, plenty of room. All right. And then the kids areas again being bright colors, even exploratory in nature, so the kids can really have fun, and every time they go there they see something new. The teenagers can even have video games as well as the air hockey and foosball, ping pong tables, those kind of things. And again, we got to keep this a real cheery domain for them. So as you come up that stair that we talked about that had the calorie count, you get up into here and we've got this arch-shaped fitness area. And we did this for a real good reason. One of the things that we wanted to do was make sure that we had views all the way up along the glass, from the pool to the tennis courts and even beyond. So we located the pieces of equipment where people love to be looking straight ahead or at a TV. But in this case, we're going to encourage people to look out towards the pool, and all the cardio will be wrapped along that linear wall with all glass. Weights will be in the middle, along here, and then the stretching area back in through here. Our fitness desk is up front here, so this person, the attendant, has a view of every single piece of equipment in that upper area, as well as the PT office and the fitness director. We've also provided a couple of unisex restrooms upstairs, make it very convenient. And again, one of the things we did is to do this, it's not a gold gym where you see exposed ceiling or anything like that. We've actually created a sculpted ceiling, making it very interesting to be inside and giving this a really upscale look to it. So again, looking at the video, one of the things you'll see right off the bat is that courtyard, that landscape courtyard, which can be used for boot camps as well as outdoor fitness events. And then you start to see some of the organic materials, again, that are already used in your community. And as we come through the portal, off to the right is the fitness. and off to your left would be the dining facility, the grill. And straight ahead is the water wall. And now you start to see this oasis of a tropical island. And as you go to your left, you see the grill or the indoor-outdoor dining. You see the folding glass walls that's going to be closed during the summer and opened in the wintertime. The idea is to make everything in here feel as natural as it could be, as if it was literally popped in by nature. Again, as you come over to the water wall, that's that area that you'll have some of the white noise of the water. And that's that area that can be used as a quiet area. And again, looking back, the architecture is actually very simple. There's probably a lot more landscaping than this in here. And so really the architecture is really not the important thing. It's really the outdoor environment more than anything else. That's why we kept the architecture very simple, straight. Now we're starting to come over by the kids area. You see the splash area as well as the covered play area. You get a little glimpse to the bottom of the expanded hard court, pickleball and basketball court. And once again, I want to thank you. We're really, really excited about this project because it really does say a lot about your community and the commitment that you have to it. And from that, I'm going to pass this on to Joe Gaudet, your owner's rep.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone for having me here. We're very proud to be on this project. We've worked with your general manager and your president, as well as staff and committees and the board. And let me tell you, a top-notch leadership group, and really proud. You know, when I get up to do these presentations, I was trying to convince everyone to give me some nice, pretty pictures or video to do, but I got stuck with the schedule and the budget, so we'll do what we can here. What we've done here is we're going to show you two timelines. Got my finger down too quick. What I'm going to do here is show you two different timelines. This first timeline is what we're calling an expedited vote. The expedited vote, we've made an assumption that we can have a successful vote within 1 month's period of time. Okay, so you'll see the light blue line that indicates the vote, which would start in November 15th and conclude December 15th. The vote will allow us to proceed with the site plan approval and the architectural and engineering design, which is a 6-month duration. Once we've completed both those items, which are both requirements for the building permit, we would submit to the county. The county starts in red. And the county's been running about 4 to 6 months on fitness centers and country club projects. So we actually have a 5-month period in there. And you can see the darker orange, which is listed as demolition. Our theory there is that we can get a demolition permit prior to getting our vertical construction permit and get started by taking down your existing structure, clearing the site, taking the pool up, and get a jump start on the construction. The construction would start immediately afterwards in November 1st of 2019. You can see the two shaded areas, they indicate your busy season. So our theory here is let's get started. We will be under construction for 1 season and get it open before the 2nd season. More attractive schedule, in my opinion. But now the 90-day vote. Oops, I can't show you that one quick because everyone won't pay attention. You always leave the cost till last. This is a 90-day vote, which I believe is in your guidelines, a typical maximum 90-day vote. So what that does, it starts at the same time. Your light blue vote starts in November, but doesn't conclude until February 15th of next year. That kicks off the site plan approval and architectural design. Those durations won't change. And then it kicks into our county permitting, the 5 months of county permitting. We really don't have the demolition in here because it wouldn't benefit us because we're going to end up starting in the season. So what that would end up being is we'd be under construction into 2 different seasons, because it's a 14-month duration on the construction. Now we said, well, we don't want to start in one season. We want to try and minimize our disruption for the members. So we figured maybe we could start after Easter and Passover and start June 1st in 2020. Well, what that does is it pushes it out. We still only lose one season, but you can see the end date is summer of 2021. So obviously an expedited vote would be most beneficial in getting this program started and finished and usable. Okay, here we go. Financial. What we've done is we've prepared a budget that was a group effort with the team. We've done a half a dozen fitness centers within Palm Beach County, a lot of them with Leo Daly within the last 3 or 4 years. We actually have one under construction right now. We've worked with Anderson Moore, who is a decades-old Palm Beach County, very reputable general contractor. They have a pulse on current costs. We looked at the floor plans, we looked at the fly-throughs, and compared things, and we had some things came in, some things came out. So what we've done is we put a budget together that is encompassing your entire program. What's it going to cost to get this done? We're not segregating everything. This is the whole ball of wax. Of course, this one will turn. Right? There we go. So how we divided it in, we have hard costs down the bottom, which are essentially general contractor costs, and soft costs up top. Soft costs are all the other things that go into a project. So let's start with professional and governmental fees. The first number we have up there is $1,660,000. That would include architectural design, structural design, mechanical design, electrical design, plumbing design, site planning, project management, surveying. I could go on and on. There's probably about 20 different consultants that we have to engage in order to meet the requirements of Palm Beach County and to provide you with an excellent project. There's also permit fees. The county will charge you a nice chunk of change to build this, as well as utility fees. Palm Beach County Water will charge us, FP&L will charge us, and all that is included and in that top number. The second number, $1,130,000, is direct owner purchases. That is your spa equipment, your gym equipment, your indoor-outdoor furniture, your lounges for the pool, your umbrellas for the pool, your chairs and tables for your restaurant, as well as the kitchen equipment that is a fully operational restaurant at the pool area. It also includes what we call low voltage, data, phones, security, sound, the POS stations, everything that goes into that. Now your hard costs, like I said, we worked with Anderson Moore on this, and in that $8.25 million is the spa and fitness building, the pool, the entire pool, the children's play area, all the site work, landscape, hardscape, and the tennis and pickleball relocation. Now, as a rule of thumb, but where we are in the design process and this program process, we like to use a contingency of approximately 10% of the hard costs. We'd say we're a little bit above that, because we said we have some design progression to have, and a lot of input from you on the town hall meetings. So with that, I wish I had some pictures or video, but we'll just leave it at that. I'd like to introduce Ron Marcucci, your CFO. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. I'd like to preface this first, that what you're going to hear and see now is based on the expedited vote process, not the 90-day one, because those conditions would change if we had to delay this for a year. So now let's look how we're going to fund this project. As Joe stated, the project costs are estimated just below $11.9 million. Our funding plan consists of 2 parts. First, a self-funding. That is, we plan to pay approximately $900,000 out of the club's current capital reserve funds. The second part is debt financing, $11 million. We've asked 4 banks to give us proposals on our financing needs for this project. Our needs consist of the following: a line of credit for the construction period, which is estimated approximately 14 to 18 months. The second part, a term loan of $11 million. The third is a $5 million refinancing loan related to the existing debt on the 2008
clubhouse renovation that's still outstanding. The interest rate on the debt that we're looking to do will be a fixed rate. The term is currently estimated at 10 years. How are we going to pay back the debt? The current debt repayment assessment is $259 a month for most of the membership. Based on the current information and conditions, the new debt repayment assessment is estimated at $399. That is a $140 increase over the current one. As noted, the old debt is being refinanced and rolled into this new project financing. Therefore, the current assessment of $259 will be eliminated and will be replaced with the new $399 assessment. The new assessment will start as soon as the project is approved by the membership and will continue for a 12-year period. That is the 18-month line of credit period and the 10-year term loan. In addition to the monthly assessment, a one-time lump sum payment option will be offered. Also, the current $7,500 charge to new members will be continued and will be utilized to pay down the debt as it is today. And now to conclude, I'd like to turn it over to Michael.
Thank you, Ron. Good news, bad news, right? Just to share a little bit. I've been in the business almost 30 years. I've done multiple clubhouse renovations, and I think I've done 5 golf course renovations. All of them, almost all of them, required an assessment. Typically, in all those cases, whatever that assessment was, in this case $259 since 2008, didn't end. So I hope you're not surprised that in 5 years that is not going to end. It's going to $400. But it is a difference of $140 a month per member for the next 12 years. That's what we want you to consider. We want you to think about it. What will it do for our community? What will it do for you? You know, how will this affect you on a day-to-day basis? How will it affect values of properties, home sales, and what have you? So we want you to take a real good look at that. Before I close and go into frequently asked questions, or am I doing that first? Maybe I'll do that first. Let's see. So it looks like I am doing that first. I have a number of questions up here. I'm going to try to answer them. I have all of the answers, certainly. And this is going to take place instead of opening this floor up for the next hour and a half to answer questions. Okay, we hope that you will take time to make reservations to come to our town hall meetings. I want you to know that I continue, and the board continues, and all the committees continue to have a very open door policy. If you have a small group of members that would like to gather with us, we'd love you to book us so that we can sit and talk privately to you about your concerns and about how this program is going to work. If you want to come individually to see me, please give me a call and set an appointment. I'd be more than happy to share all the information. And certainly Ron Marcucci, our Chief Financial Officer, would also be there, and I'm certain that Frank would entertain that at any time. So we want your feedback. We want to understand what you think. We want to hear from you. So why should we approve the plan? One of the things we talked about tonight was certainly that this is not a plan that just came out of the blue. For those people that have been here for a while, this has been discussed for a bunch of years. Interesting enough, it came from the 2014 5-year strategic plan that now is into its 5th year. We believe that the new amenities will help us compete against the market that is out there. We believe it's necessary. We believe we've designed a program based on all of our committee's feedback and certainly our fitness people that this is the right size, that not only is for tomorrow, but also for the future. How will the fitness center operate during construction? So we've looked at a number of different options, from tents to temporary facilities to going to the YMCA. We've talked to them, they're very interested. We've talked to LA Fitness, they're very interested. The fitness committee is really interested in trying to keep it on property. We've even evaluated if we had a process where it was 2 summers or 1 season, that we could do it in the Grove Room. Interesting enough, Woodfield just finished their major expansion, which you guys did, I believe, and Woodfield did that in their main ballroom. They took their main ballroom and they made it the fitness center for the time of the process, and it cost them a minimal amount of money. When we looked at tents, $400,000 temporary facilities for 15 months in an air-conditioned tent with bathrooms, restrooms, handicap facilities, all the rest. It's an incredible amount of money. A lot of clubs have done that. I don't think we're in a position to do that. How can we be certain budget estimates are accurate and what there will be and no cost overruns? So very early in the phase, we hired the professionals. I'd like to note that AMC Builders is here. Could you guys stand up? You're out there someplace. You're back in the corner. Thank you very much for being with us. So AMC did a great job for us. We brought in, we started with another architect from North Carolina. We evaluated that. I had worked with Bill Hanser and the group from Leo Daly. We evaluated all the projects they have done. We went and visited. We took the fitness committee. We took our staff. We went and visited all the clubs that they did. And we really looked at the best practices. We talked to the general managers of those clubs, so we really got a good feel. We also brought in Joe Gaudet, who worked on our last project, and Joe worked for me at Old Marsh on the project that I had there, and Joe did an exceptional job. He has a great reputation. We believe we've taken the time to design something and get the cost that fits in the envelope that we showed you. That's what we think. The other thing that we've done is, originally we evaluated, should we fix the current building that we have? Should we fix the 30-year-old pool? Should we fix the 20-year-old fitness facility that really wasn't built that well and has structural problems and air conditioning problems and window problems and all the rest? We found that it was extremely expensive to do so, and we thought that the best chance at meeting the numbers that we have is to start from scratch, so that there's no surprises when all of a sudden we knock down a wall and we find mold, or we find a wall that we can't move that we thought we could move, and we've ordered steel and all those things that happen when you start to renovate. And certainly we had a few here, and all projects have that when you're trying to renovate. What assurance do we have that the project will be well managed? Well, that's Joe Gaudet, and myself and our board, to make sure that we are managing effectively. Will the financial plan for this project affect any future capital projects? We don't believe so. The capital program for our club that supports ongoing capital projects throughout the years is financed by $60,000 a year when a person comes in. Currently, we average about 35 new homes a year. We hope that will continue to move in that direction and even escalate. So that money will still be set aside for future capital projects that won't put us in the hole when we get into this. Who can answer questions about the plan? So certainly I can. I'm fully available. Okay, Mr. Coleman can. No, that's your phone. Very good. Frank, our president, all our board is well equipped to talk. Todd Orlando is the chairman of the fitness committee, who's done a phenomenal job with that. Diane Feldman is chairman of the ad hoc fitness committee. Our board is available. Ron Marcucci is our financial man that has all the numbers. So there's a lot of us to talk to if you want to reach out to us so that we can answer all your questions. How many members' votes are needed to pass the plan? Currently, we use, right now, today, 415. That's a good number and a bad number. That means we normally have 444. So if we're only using 415, it means that we continue to have 20 memberships out there that are non-performing. The number one biggest concern that we have as a club, that I have as a COO of this company, and Ron has as CFO of this company, is non-performing units. We have to do everything to put ourselves in a marketplace that we can sell homes and we can get that number down. It's a huge expense to us annually. 415 divided by 2, add 1, 207 is how many votes we need to pass this. Our bylaws say 51% is a majority, and that's what we need to pass this. I looked, let's see, the pickleball courts have been moved, and new tennis courts. So we talked to Richard, and we talked to him about the courts. Court number 3 was a court that was added on many years ago. That is adjacent to our new pickleball courts. We are going to move the pickleball courts, and we're going to add a hard court that is longer in length than normal. Okay, the court size is the same, but the length of the interior facility is longer. This will allow a number of different opportunities. One, professionals that currently train here, that go to the European circuit, that use our red clay stadium courts, that get ready for the Madrid Open, the Italian Open, the French Open. They practice here. Now when they get ready for the US Open, they'll practice here because that's a hard court program. All the middle schools, all the high schools, all the colleges, they all use hard courts. This will be a huge benefit to us as we try to create junior programs and other programs. Also, interesting enough, everybody, I hope for the pickleball players that are here, those courts are going to have double lines. They're going to include 2 pickleball courts on the first court, then we've got the other 2 pickleball courts, and then we're going to add pickleball lines to the basketball court, giving us the availability to have 5 pickleball courts, create a pickleball league, and do pickleball tournaments. I will tell you that that is the future. It's not happening today, but it is the future. How will the furnishings be procured? We've already talked to a professional interior design. We had a guy come the other day, Kirk Christensen, who is currently working at Addison, who worked for Image Design many years ago, went off on his own, and is doing a great job over this. We are talking to professional interior design people. Was the ad hoc committee given any indication of the funding available, or did they put together a plan made up of wants and needs? We went through a ton of different stuff. This started 2+ years ago with hiring Joe Barone, who was the director of fitness over at Boca West as a consultant, to talk to the committees and work with our fitness people to find out what were the needs, what were the sizes, how many bathrooms, how many lockers, all the different things that we went through. We believe this is the right size and it fits our needs. We also, once we got it all designed, we went back to the drawing board 3 or 4 times. We moved prices, we cut things out, we changed. At the end of the day, the fitness committee, the ad hoc fitness committee, and the board all felt that we should try to build for the future, and that's what we put up in front of you today. What is the estimated increase in operational costs? We looked at taxes, air conditioning, additional help, programs. We believe that number is about $150,000 a year in added costs. Will that be offset by revenues? Only if we can attack those 29 homes that are non-performing. That's when our money really starts to change here in this community, and we hope that will happen based on bringing this plan to fruition. Is any aspect of the plan currently out for bid? No. Currently, we work with all of our contractors on pre-construction programs. The board is allowed to spend up to $100,000 on any one project in any one year. Everything that we've done has been fit into that $100,000, and we appreciate the commitment of the professionals that work with us because it really helped us. Finishing up, I think. There I go. Well, physical therapy and spa services. You saw the spa services. We have 2 two massage therapy that could be used multi-sex. So two men can get massages at the same time, two women can get massages, a guy and a gal can get massages. They all connect to the men's and the ladies' locker room. They all have quiet areas. So we believe, and what we've seen from other communities, that has been a huge home run. Also, physical therapy. We're starting physical therapy on November 1 this year. We just contracted a company that will start physical therapy. So if you are currently getting physical therapy, or you know a member that's getting physical therapy, our programs are going to work. They're going to link up to insurances. They're going to run you through your physical therapy time, and then they're going to hand you off to David to create a program for you to help extend your lives and extend your wellness. What does the plan provide for additional rooms in the fitness center? Our rooms are undersized, okay? If you go into the current room, you know, there's balls everywhere, the reformers are hanging up, there's no storage, it's just undersized. We believe that the size of the rooms are going to fit as well. What financial contingency amount percentage accounted for in the budget? As we said, 10% of the construction cost. So the construction cost is 8.2, and we budgeted $850,000 as a contingency. How will food and beverage area work? What will the hours of operation be? We're still working on all that program. Honestly, last week we took Chef Pierre, Richard, David, Carla to Marisol, Ibis. We're going to Woodfield. We're going to take a look at what everybody else has done and then evaluate that and how it works for you. And we think it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful operation. The square footage of the pool, Ron talked about that a little bit. We are going to finish on the high end at 6 feet. Currently, our height of our pool is 5'6". So it's going up 6 inches. It's a walk-in pool. It's going to be beautiful. The square footage of the pool is almost exactly the square footage of the existing pool water space that we have now. So we're not losing anything, we're just gaining. And we think it's going to be really beautiful. I'm going to be surprised with what comes up next. Oh, my mission statement. Good. Okay, so our mission statement, just final thing, and we do have dinner tonight. I hope you'll join us. I appreciate so much that we got so many people to come. I hope you're scheduled to come to the rest of the meetings that we have. Our mission statement of Boulder Grove is to deliver a boutique lifestyle set in an oasis of uncompromising beauty with facilities and activities that encourage healthy mind, body experiences, a strong sense of community, and lasting friendships. How can you say anything more than that? That's what we're trying to create.